At 4:47 a.m., a reinforced steel door is peeled open like a tin can by a shaped charge. The blast echoes through subterranean corridors beneath Miraflores Palace in Caracas, rattling Venezuela's seat of power. FBI operators push through the smoke, weapons raised, tactical lights cutting through darkness. What they're about to find will shock even the most seasoned agents. You won't believe what American forces discovered hidden beneath the presidential palace. The scale of what they're seeing is beyond anything they prepared for. Years of investigation, months of planning, and now, in a matter of minutes, they're standing face to face with proof so overwhelming it will rewrite the story of Venezuela's government forever. But to understand how it got to this point, we need to go back to where it all started. For years, something didn't add up. DEA analysts in Miami were watching billions flow out of Venezuela into offshore shell companies in Panama, the British Virgin Islands, and Cyprus. The DEA, working with the CIA, had been tracking the Cartel de los Soles, the Cartel of the Suns, since the early 2000s. Named after the sun insignia worn by Venezuelan generals, this was something far more sinister. Bank records showed a pattern. Government accounts went empty, and days later, luxury penthouses in Miami changed hands. Private jets appeared in Madrid, yachts in the Dominican Republic, casinos, nightclubs, shopping malls, all purchased with money that supposedly didn't exist. But connecting the dots wasn't enough. They needed proof. They needed someone on the inside willing to talk. And in late 2025, they finally got him. Alejandro Granados, a mid-level Venezuelan army colonel who thought he could play both sides. Arrested in Colombia while trying to broker a deal for 500 kilograms, Granados faced a choice: 10 years in federal prison or tell the DEA everything. He chose to talk. What came out of his mouth left investigators stunned. Granados described a pipeline. Product from FARC-controlled Colombia transported into Venezuela with full military assistance. The National Guard provides armed escorts, military aircraft moving multi-ton shipments from hidden airstrips to Caribbean departure points. But that wasn't the bombshell. Granados described something that sounded impossible: a vast underground facility directly beneath Miraflores Palace where product was stored before international shipment, managed by Maduro's inner circle. Diosdado Cabello and Tariq El-Aissami, a former vice president with ties to Hezbollah and Iranian intelligence. Some DEA supervisors didn't buy it. A drug bunker beneath the presidential palace? It sounded like fiction. But Granados kept talking. The bunker's layout, security systems, ventilation, names of officers with access, specific shipments matching DEA intelligence. The CIA started digging. Satellite imagery revealed construction around Miraflores Palace in 2008 to 2009, consistent with underground excavation. Signals intelligence picked up coded transmissions. The vault, the basement. Then came confirmation. A CIA source inside Venezuelan military intelligence verified the bunker's existence. By early 2026, the Americans knew it was real. They just needed an opportunity to get inside. That opportunity came on January 3rd, 2026. The team tasked with clearing the bunker was led by Special Agent Miguel Ortega, a 25-year DEA veteran who'd spent his career hunting Latin American cartels. Accompanying him, DEA chemists, FBI technicians, IRS investigators, Justice Department prosecutors, protected by FBI hostage rescue operators and Marine raiders. They entered at 4:30 a.m., just after Delta Force secured the building. The palace was quiet, papers scattered where staffers fled. Granados had told them exactly where to look: a storage room adjacent to the main kitchen, concealed behind a false wall. At first glance, all they saw was canned goods, bottled water, and cleaning supplies. Nothing unusual. But when an FBI technician ran ground-penetrating radar across the walls, the device lit up. A massive void space behind the northern wall. The false wall was reinforced concrete disguised as ordinary cinder blocks. Behind it, empty space. Below, a stairwell descending into darkness. The team used diamond-tipped cutting saws and hydraulic spreaders. 30 minutes later, the entrance was revealed. Beyond the false wall stood a steel security door with an electronic keypad lock. An FBI specialist hot-wired the mechanism. The lock clicked open. What they found on the other side would make this the largest drug seizure in Latin American history. The stairwell dropped 40 feet below ground. Concrete walls reinforced with steel rebar. LED lighting from an independent electrical system. This was a professionally engineered facility costing millions. At the bottom, another security door, blast-resistant. The team placed a shaped charge, directing blast energy into the locking mechanism. The explosion was deafening. When the smoke cleared, the door hung on its hinges, lock assembly destroyed. FBI operators pushed through, weapons raised, tactical lights sweeping, and then they saw it. The bunker stretched 5,000 square feet, but it was the main chamber that stopped them cold. Floor to ceiling, wall to wall, bricks upon bricks upon bricks, individually wrapped packages with kilograms of pure coke stacked on industrial shelving reaching the ceiling. Each brick stamped with a logo, a scorpion inside a circle. DEA agents recognized it immediately as belonging to Los Escorpiones, a Colombian organization notorious for producing 92 to 95% pure product. The team started counting. Each brick photographed, measured, inventoried, sampled. As the numbers climbed, the magnitude became clear. Initial estimates: 15,000 kilograms, 15 metric tons, street value exceeding $450 million. But the money wasn't even the most disturbing part. What they found in the adjacent chambers would prove this was the operational heart of an entire narco state. In one corner, industrial equipment, scales weighing up to 100 kilograms, vacuum sealing machines, hydraulic presses, processing chemicals, hydrochloric acid, acetone, ether. This was an active processing operation running directly beneath the president's office. In an adjacent chamber, physical ledgers, spiral-bound notebooks documenting shipments, weights, destinations, payments. One notebook from July to December 2025 showed over 200 shipments. A DEA analyst calculated it. Those 6 months alone represented over 40 tons with transaction value exceeding $800 million. But the notebooks weren't the smoking gun. Sitting on a desk was a computer left running, as if someone fled in a hurry. FBI cyber specialists accessed the hard drive. What they found: emails between Venezuelan military officers and Colombian cartel representatives, spreadsheets detailing shipments and profits, bank transfer receipts, video files, security camera footage from inside the bunker showing Venezuelan officials overseeing operations. In one video dated November 12, 2025, Major General Cliver Alcala Cordones, under federal indictment from 2020 for narco-terrorism, inspects pallets while on his cell phone. Another video showed Samark Lopez, a businessman close to Diosdado Cabello, meeting with Colombian men. The audio captured Lopez offering to facilitate maritime transport from Venezuelan ports to Central America. This was organized and clearly approved from the top, but investigators weren't done. What they found in the third chamber would prove the facility served an even more sinister purpose. The arsenal suggested the bunker wasn't designed solely for drugs. It was built to function as a secure command post with sleeping quarters, kitchen, bathroom, communications room with encrypted radio equipment. But as sophisticated as it was, it couldn't protect them from what was coming next. The evidence was overwhelming. The quantity triggered conspiracy charges carrying mandatory life sentences. The documentation, ledgers, computer files, videos, linked it all directly to Maduro and his inner circle. IRS agents examined financial records, tracing money through shell companies. FBI accountants built profiles, documenting assets for forfeiture. By 9 a.m., the bunker was secured, product inventoried, records cataloged, computer equipment seized, weapons documented. The 15 tons would be flown to the United States, records translated and analyzed, computer drives forensically examined, Witnesses identified and brought into protective custody. The discovery provided concrete proof. Venezuela was a narco state where the government itself engaged in industrial-scale trafficking. By noon, word reached Washington. President Trump was briefed during preparations for his Mar-a-Lago press conference. Officials say his reaction was immediate: vindication. For years, Trump had taken a hard line against Maduro, facing criticism from those arguing for diplomatic engagement. The bunker proved those critics wrong. At DEA headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, agents who'd spent years investigating the Cartel de los Soles finally had their smoking gun. The evidence pointed at 3 primary targets, all already under federal indictment. Diosdado Cabello, the regime's number 2. His name appeared dozens of times in ledgers, always with the largest shipments. DEA analysts estimated he'd personally profited over $2 billion. Tarek el-Aissami, whose connections to Hezbollah and Iranian intelligence elevated him from trafficker to national security threat. The evidence showed he'd used proceeds to finance weapons and fund Hezbollah operations in Latin America. Vladimir Padrino Lopez, the defense minister. His signature appeared on military documents authorizing humanitarian supplies that were actually product shipments. He'd turned the Venezuelan military into a logistics company for the cartel. But while Washington celebrated, the real impact was being felt in Venezuela. As news spread, reactions poured in. In Venezuela, opposition leader Maria Corina Machado called it final proof the Maduro regime is a criminal organization masquerading as a government. In the United States, lawmakers from both parties praised the operation. For investigators who dedicated years to pursuing the Cartel de los Soles, the bunker validated every late night, every dead end, every frustrating moment when evidence seemed just out of reach. They'd been right all along, but even as they celebrated, they knew the real work was just beginning. The Cartel de los Soles networks extend across continents. Dozens of co-conspirators remain at large. Billions in proceeds are still hidden in offshore accounts, tucked away in real estate. The bunker is a beginning, not an end. It's the first domino in a years-long effort to dismantle the narco state Venezuela has become. Federal prosecutors are preparing indictments. Financial investigators are freezing assets. International agencies are coordinating arrests. But the message sent by this discovery echoes far beyond Venezuela's borders. To every trafficker who thinks they're untouchable, to every corrupt official who believes their position protects them, there is no position high enough to protect you from American justice. The hunt never stops. If you found this breakdown fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. The prosecutions are coming, the co-conspirators are being hunted, and justice is far from finished. I'll see you in the next one.